There is a TED Talk with millions of views telling parents to back off, let go of the checklist. I don't know why I did Trump fingers. And
The
just
checklist.
love their kids unconditionally.
It's not good.
And well, I felt it though. I felt like a lot of it was right, but while we were watching it, I felt your whole body tensing up.
So there were bars. She definitely had bars in there. But when I looked at her and I looked at the audience, and I thought, whose kids get to be free wildflowers?
Wildflowers.
Because she said that, and I have questions. I have questions.
I recognize where some of your questions might come from because we have black kids and they have to live in today's world, which is
2026.
Extra wild.
18.
So today we're gonna break it down. I'll try to pronounce Shorty's name right. But we're gonna talk about the overparenting gospel, what it gets right, who it forgets or what it leaves out, and why the unfortunate technology that your school has forced you to sign up for might be the real helicopter parent problem. Let's get into it.
Yo parents, yo parents, yo parents and professors. Yo parents, yo parents, yo parents and professors.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Parents and Professors podcast, where your favorite triple C's, co-parents, colleagues, and collaborators. This is the podcast where we explore the intersection of co-parenting, education, and anything else we might find interesting. I'm Dr. Michael Stephen Williams, and I'm joined by...
I'm Dr. Marjorie Williams. And this week, we are reacting to... Okay, I'm going to...
I wanted to see how you pronounced it.
Julie Lythcott-Haims, TED Talk.
What's the name of that TED Talk?
How to raise successful kids without overparenting. So we'll talk about what we think it gets right. I think some of the racialized and gendered realities that it totally ignores, and how technology has turned parenting into a round-the-clock job in surveillance.
Yeah, I think there's some interesting things that it gets right, but there's plenty of space for additional conversation. But before we dive in, remember this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. The views and opinions expressed are our own. Our discussion is based on our personal experiences, publicly available information, and general knowledge. And we make every effort to be accurate, but we encourage you to verify the facts for yourself. We will definitely have the link to the full talk in the show notes. We're not attorneys. Nothing we say is legal advice. We're not therapists, though we have our own moments. So please consult qualified professionals for guidance on your own situation. We're not your mama or your daddy, even though we might sound like it sometimes.
I realize the older I get, the more I sound like my parents.
It is a curse. It's a gift and a curse.
All right, so this talk, and it's a TED Talk, so not very long, but 12, 14 minutes?
It's like 14 minutes.
It's like 14 minutes. So she discusses how to raise successful kids without overparenting. This TED Talk has millions of views. It was posted, or I guess recorded in 2015. And she argues that parents should stop defining success by grades, test scores, and a checklist childhood. And instead, we should be building self-efficacy and offering unconditional love. I'm going to stop myself from responding and continue to read the facts.
Well, hold on. Wait, what is the... You can respond as you go.
I think it assumes that, well, one, that you can't do those things, as if you couldn't have high standards for your children and care about their grades, because those things matter in this world. That, this checklist. So when she talks about the checklist, she talks about, the scheduling and the activities and the community service and all the things. Our kids do that. So in some ways, they are absolutely checklist children. But I don't think that doing that means that you can't build self-efficacy and offer your kids unconditional love.
Well, there's other parts of the talk that I think kind of capture that piece, though.
She holds those things in very much in a dichotomy.
So, like the chores being one of the solutions, right? So, if I were to reduce her entire talk to a couple of prescriptions, it would be make your kids do chores.
Yes.
And love them unconditionally.
Yeah.
Is that reasonable?
That's reasonable. Yeah. I can get behind that.
And so, to me, I feel like we can start from things that we agree with, and then we can work out.
Sorry, my bad.
With the nuances. Yeah,
wait, let me finish.
You were scowling the whole time.
I was unamused. No, I smirked a little bit when she got towards the end. Maybe it's also my personal
RBF.
I'm gonna go back to that. So she is a former dean of freshmen at Stanford University. She's also the author of New York Times bestseller. I hate that title. Anyway, How to Raise an Adult, published in 2015. And her critique grew out of what she calls a decade of watching overparented students arrive at college unable to run their own lives. Hilarious that this is 2015 and we are now
11 years later, and it feels like a lot of the things are still true.
Or worse.
Way worse, because post-pandemic. This is before the pandemic.
It was well before the pandemic.
Yeah.
This was before like Snapchat?
No, it wasn't before Snapchat. Cat's been on Snapchat for a while.
Have they?
Yeah, I just know because of the young niggas.
Okay.
They be bagging joints on there like, yo.
I mean, I know that. No.
Yeah, but
2015. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you're wild.
2015.
We're
Oh,
old.
yeah.
You're making us sound mad old. I
Yeah,
feel like
sorry.
I just got 3 more grades from that. Oh my God. How long has that Snapchat been around?
Dude, we were in some
You
meeting
shaking
at
your
work
cane at the cats?
and we're like, yo, we're old. Oh, one of the shorties was like, yeah, my daughter couldn't mail a letter. And I did it for her. Like she just had to put the letter in it and then mail it. And somehow she messed it up. And we're like, yeah, it's crazy. Like you don't
Stuff
teach them anything these days.
But there it is. It's the efficacy argument from
Yes.
Shorty's thing. So you develop self-efficacy from performance accomplishments. That is you actually doing the thing
Doing the things.
that you want to be confident at.
So Michael said I was scowling.
You were scowling the whole time.
My eyebrows were frowning. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I did like love, unconditional love, and that we're not tying our children's performance to love and acceptance. Like it's not a good feeling for the child. I'm just gonna throw that out there. And it sets them up for not good maladaptive behaviors later on. So I'm gonna
Are you speaking from personal experience or are you
it's not good when you think the only way that you gain love is by meeting some standard of performance.
Yeah, that's real.
That is not healthy. So yes,
But so many
did
greats are
not-
forged in the crucible.
also
So many greats are forged in the crucible of bad parenting.
Also-
we had to, like, why am I good at? I
I won't say bad parenting.
Well,
I
I
will
think
say a
Terry,
different
your
version.
parents. I am a firm believer that your parents did the best that they could
Absolutely.
do with the available information, what was done to them,
And
like where
what
they
they
were
had-
in
yes.
life, what research and stuff they had available to them. We know too much to parent in the ways that we were parented.
Yes.
So it could be.
But
a
I
both
want to
and.
parent sometimes the way that I was parented.
I would like to, but that's punitive.
yes. and
It's
not
really
good.
like, I just want to beat you. And the excuse for beating you is that in that situation when I was growing up, I was beat. Right? Like,
I mean, now they're in the just, as McCarty would say, rule with an iron fist. Like you gotta
but
crack down.
we are in a phase where, and maybe part of it is the age of the children, right? I feel like my youngest is still in the unconditional love phase for the most part. Like, I know
she's
that you
easy.
know what
She's
you're doing.
she's
Yeah.
little.
But I know that you know what you're doing, but like I can still let you slide a little bit. I think the oldest is to the point where like I know you know what you're doing and I cannot let you slide. Because the clock is ticking
Yes.
on when you will no longer be under my supervision.
I need you to get these skills and lessons now.
Yeah, and so part of what was resonant about the talk to me was that she talked about a lot of the things that broadly parents are concerned with.
Okay.
Which is, one, what are my kids going to become? And how is what they become a reflection on me? Even the best intentioned parents recognize a sense of connection to who their children become and who their children are on the trajectory to become and their parenting.
Yes.
Like, you would never disconnect. Like, if my son is a junkie, I'm going to feel like I did something wrong.
I was like, what could I have done differently?
And we also have enough evidence as actual parents that, yeah, you try to do everything right and they still gonna do what they're gonna do.
Because they're their own people.
Because they are their own people.
They're
And
not like tiny versions of you that you just...
You can't, I can't force you to make better decisions than me.
No.
All I can try to do is set up your environment so that you flourish. And even that, when she was using the flower analogy, she was like, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're wildflowers. And I was like, yo, actually, I'm taking away the part of the metaphor that I think serves universally, which is that your children are very much like flowers. Doesn't matter what kind of flower, your job as a parent is to try to create good soil good foundation,
Yes.
favorable conditions so that they could grow and flourish into the most bright and beautiful version of themselves. I'm thinking the Will Smith sunflower episode from Fresh Prince.
Oh my God.
Yeah, sunshine, you are my sun. But like, that's it. That's what you're trying to do as a parent. What you're trying to do as a parent is climate control their lives, but not in a way that makes it where they
Yes.
won't be durable when
Like I can't
the
put
real
you
weather
outside.
comes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I agree with that. And I think yes. So love, unconditional love, building your children's, and I think we say this all the time, we want our kids to be self-sufficient adults and good human beings.
Yeah, very important.
Like that is ultimately my goal, that whenever you walk out my door and you go to do your own thing, that you can,
Not embarrass me,
and
but also, don't you dare embarrass me. I know where you live. All of you.
I think it's also recognizing that, yeah, like I'm not going to be around to solve these things for you. Figure it out. I feel like comes out of my mouth 200 times a day.
It should.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that for you. You can figure it out. You literally have the internet.
The youngest thinks that I am her personal serf.
What? Oh. Mm-hmm. Say more, Michael.
Hey, Poppy, I see you relaxing on the couch. You want to get me some milk?
What are we doing next, Tati?
Hey, Poppy, can you put salt on my noodles? I was like, wait, hold on. Raise your hand. All right, kick your foot. Kick. Ooh, they work. Do it yourself. Like, how dare you?
Yes, right. So I think there are many things in her speech. Oh, one of the things that I do appreciate, she talks about, parents are grooming and cultivating their kids for the purpose of trying to get them into this small number of what she calls brand name schools, right?
Yeah.
Harvard, Yale, Princeton,
She worked at Stanford,
USC,
so she
Stanford.
has the,
right. Yeah. So we know the big name schools, the one that our current administration is fighting with, because everybody knows those schools.
They're trying to punch the big money schools in the mouth so that they comply.
The biggest and baddest on the block, and I'm going to go after them.
The straight Trump administration jailhouse rules.
And
you saw they restarted the war.
Don't
Yeah,
sidetrack
I'm not
me.
going to derail you, but yeah.
Because I saw it and I was like, I thought this was done.
Yeah,
I thought we won.
Yeah, he got on there calling people scum. I was like, oh,
I thought we
here
won, and it was
go.
over, and you had the best deal, even better than Obama's deal.
These gas prices still high, Playboy.
Oh, they're about to go back up. As if plane tickets don't already cost $1,000 for like bullshit ass flights.
Oh, you just hopping around the world, huh?
No.
You fly so much that
I do fly a lot. And to have watched the very steep incline of ticket prices while also watching the decline of services, and now they're going to be like, hey, if you would like some oxygen, you can pay this extra fee.
Oh, fam, it's gonna be White Castle in the air very soon.
It's awful.
It's a race to the bottom.
It's awful.
As soon as Southwest took away free range seating,
You're
I was
like,
like, it's going down. There's some who would never fly Southwest who are like poo-pooing us right now. But
I used to, because I was like, I
like-
like this. I sit where I want. I don't have
this
to pay
works.
extra for it.
yeah, no longer. It's a race to the bottom, yeah.
How do we get here? Oh, the best of the best of the best. So she does talk about parents grooming their children for these tiny number of seats at these very small number of institutions. And yes, that's absurd. Like there are thousands of colleges and universities across the country. The top, 5, 10, 20, 25
Yeah.
are not, you can go to many others and be good money. Now I say that as we both have Penn degrees.
Yeah,
And
but
also,
some of the top give you unique access to networks and like make
which is
things
also
easier.
right. Yes.
Yeah, but
You
also
have access. You have capital.
but you should do that for grad school. Like there's a
Yes.
like there's a
That's our professor advice to y'all. Like
Yeah.
it really,
go to reasonable tuition state university.
Yes.
Maybe even one that I may or may not be affiliated with. Because there are a lot of people and you can get a great education. And when you want to specialize and you actually know what you want to do, because it's very unlikely that you know that in undergrad.
at 18.
Yeah. Then you can go to an Ivy League elite master's or PhD program.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. So that is our suggestion and advice to y'all. because our Ivy League degrees are both our graduate degrees. And then also, because we had this conversation, I'm not going to name names, particularly when you get to the point where you are specializing at a master's and especially at a doctoral level, big names don't matter. Yeah. So like, please, if y'all take away nothing else from this conversation, those are not the things that matter, because some of the best programs, like I remember learning IO Psych, the number one program in the country was at the University of Illinois.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to do that, going to Harvard is cool. I don't even know if Harvard has a program or like any of the other.
There's plenty of places like that. Like,
but that's not the best. That's not the best of the best.
Harvard might not confer your degree.
So it's not the. So I appreciate her saying that, because I do think that does matter and is true. Now, again, there's some holes in that story. Thank you. I was trying to.
That's what you were going with. I heard the Joe Rogan coming out of you, yo.
So I just think that, I think overall, yes, as a general approach to thinking about parenting, love and chores, and they're their own person, and we can't, treat them like automatons that we control. Totally, I can get behind that. Now, I also think that the reality of the world we live in, particularly raising children in 2026 and thinking about college going and college access, data and numbers tell a different story. And so I felt annoyed. Because even her, she's like, oh, success can look like different things. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. Right now, I randomly.
I feel like that's what every parent whose kid excels at art.
Yes, and I was like, you know what? I could totally see Maximilian as a middle school art teacher.
Some people are good rappers,
right? He is a kids freaking love him no matter where he goes.
Yeah.
We're in West Palm with Sophia and her kids, and they're like, "Where's Max?" And, chasing him around the house, and he's like, "Oh, get off me!" But
he also does good work with little sisters.
Yes,
he's very experienced.
So they something about him is they recognize it. So I could very much see that, and I think again, as long as he was self-sufficient and happy with what he was doing and could live his life and take care of himself, great. That's awesome. So yes, in terms of that.
So wait, what are you comparing that to? Because I think that there's something that we're skipping over. Is it
But to get there,
we know that we would be okay with that.
Yes,
but that's not generally accepted or the way that a lot of people feel.
Yes,
and so what did your family treat as a measure of your worth growing up?
Yo, why are you doing this to me?
I mean, we got discussion questions. I want to actually hear about it.
So,
because I think that some of that and the ways that we differ generationally is also where the real conversation is.
So, what do you mean?
So, I can think about that talk and I could kind of accept it as is, because I can see every side of the situation because that's part of my lived experience. Mm-hmm. So when I think about growing up, I was a straight A student.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But I wasn't a straight A student because my mom pressured me to be a straight A student. I was a straight A student because I liked school and I was good at it. And I was like, oh, being good at school is something that my mom likes. So I'm going to do that. But it wasn't like this external pressure. It wasn't so I feel like a lot of what she's talking about is almost like the helicopter parenting, the overscheduling parenting, the overparenting. Well,
but yes, I mean, I think generationally for us, that wasn't as much of a thing. I mean, we were free range kids, right? So I think that's different. As far as expectations though, I think similarly, I was good at school. And my parents wanted me to be good at school, so there was alignment there.
Yeah, but how did you know your parents wanted you to be good at school?
Because they said so. Because we were up in the basement till freaking 1:00 in the morning doing math problems. And here's my spelling test. And now my dad is re-quizzing all two and then all three of us on spelling words. It was explicitly and implicitly shared at every
you make it
step.
Sound like Lord of the Flies with your brothers. They're like, hey, do the oldest homework.
And then they pull out cash.
So it really was. You know what? Yours is much more of what's the Thor movie with the goat where they're all fighting in the arena? Like,
Oh, yes. Oh my God, that's me. I am hella. Yes. I did all the things. And then you're like, oh, we're good. We don't need that anymore. What do you mean? I did all the things. You asked me to do these things. I feel for her. I'm going to be her for Halloween. I've decided.
Oh, look at that. I'm glad I could inspire.
So I get that that's not good. But I at the same time, my parents were also Haitian immigrants, new Black people to this country. And even if they didn't get it, they got it, right? Like, you can't afford to not perform because you not performing doesn't look the same as Emily Sanchez not performing or, Stephanie Smith not
It
performing.
depends on the nature of that Sanchez. Is that a Spain Sanchez
it's a
or is
Spain
that a
Sanchez.
Mexican
Because
Sanchez?
in my head, I could see
Yeah.
her and
Okay.
she's like tall and blonde.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's a little bit
Blue-eyed.
different. Yeah.
Emily, yes.
I mean, but that's the nuance, right? So for me, what she necessarily misses, because to me, a TED Talk is kind of like theory building. Like, it necessarily has to be a little opaque or like not as specific so that it fits more people.
Okay.
And so part of where I think some of the nuance or like what is missed is that Black children don't necessarily get the opportunity to be wildflowers.
Or like when you think about socioeconomic status, race, gender, the intersection of any of those things.
Yeah, you're more likely to be poor if you're Black.
Yeah. So like, no, right? There are a lot of parents who are like, I can't, they may not be checklist parents, but that, I don't know if pressure is the right word. I guess we could say pressure. That concern about your success and well-being academically doesn't come from nowhere. We're not all just like, oh, like I'm just pressuring you to be good at school for no reason. Like there's so much research. Decades of research.
Oh, Education Pays is the most cited study ever.
I use it all the time. We will put it in the show notes.
I don't even know
Education
who
Pays.
I was like, Bomb and Pia.
Bombay, yeah. And Ma was in there for a
so I
minute.
was like,
Ma, that's it.
Yeah.
So they are happier, they make more money, they live longer, they're healthier, they're more civically engaged. Like, a degree does things for you in life. So it's not just oh, I want you to be happy and a good person and do chores. And.
There's a whole lot of variables in between the degree and the good life.
I mean,
and it's really like all the things that you're exposed to when you're in college. And so I think that there's a couple of different levels to critique on. The first is her like overarching idea of unconditional love just naturally looks a bit different when you're Black.
Yeah.
Because for me to unconditionally love my kids is also to prepare them for a society that wants them to fail or that expects them to fail. And so
praise for their downfall.
Yeah.
In
and
some
so
cases.
like if you're from an academic standpoint, if I know that you have a bullseye on your back because you're a Black child and expectations are already through the floor for you, then part of my socialization to not make you a checklist kid, but to also love you appropriately is to let you know, like, this is how you're being viewed.
Mm-hmm.
These are the barriers that are naturally going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I didn't have to have these same conversations with you that I had my parents have with me and who their parents have with them and their parents have with them. But this is the reality. And one of the ways that you protect yourself is by excelling.
Yes. And that's not, it's not bulletproof.
Of course not. You could be a straight A student and still get jammed up by the cops.
But it does create some buffer between situations and circumstances that can be detrimental to your well-being. So when I think about the college isn't for everybody conversation, because we were just talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is true. However, I can't look at that conversation and not think about who's promoting that message.
Oh, they want you, all the people who send all their kids to the Harvards and the Yales and the Penns want you not to send your kids to school. And
shouting it from the rooftops.
But I always thought it was just a BS hypocrisy that was more general.
Oh, that like it wasn't a...
Yeah, but the more I think about it, I'm like, oh, that's so they want space so their kids could get in. Because if they actually had to compete on level ground, they know they would lose. Like, and so even that, like, that connects to all the anti-DEI rhetoric.
In so many ways.
Yeah.
In fact, the one of the things I appreciate about this current moment in time is that the quiet part is said loud and proud and out loud. And so just the other day on whatever like the Fox morning show is, Fox and Friends? I don't know, whatever, one of the shows. And they're like, and the biggest problem that we have is that all of these Democrats are college educated. some might say overeducated, and they learn these ideas. And I'm like, do you know how crazy you sound right now? You mean that college is doing the thing it's supposed to do? Teaching critical thinking skills? Exposing people to information and knowledge that they didn't otherwise have access to?
But the crazy thing is they be having those same degrees. Like it's who are the ones from Florida are the most reckless? Like DeSantis and it's like, fam, what, he went to Yale?
Yo, son.
Like, I'm like, really?
It is.
And it's funny because it's
so
an international
insidious
thing too. I was reading the article in, what was it? Probably Times Higher Education, like one of the international education outlets, because I have like a belonging prompter. And I was laughing because you could just kind of read between the lines. They're talking about the university system and the relationship between universities and the larger politic of the nation. Mm-hmm. As like a stupid amount of their politicians went to Oxford or Cambridge.
Oh.
And so like they literally cannot connect in the same way, but they'll be anti-school. And they'll be anti.
Yes. Yes. What is it? The rules for thee, but not for me, or whatever it is. So so back to her talk. And again, I appreciate that she named, it's not just the big name schools, because it's not. There are other options and opportunities available at other institutions. My caveat to that is like, but it doesn't always look the same for everybody. And the outcomes that institutions are able to obtain for their students differs based on the resources that are available to them. And so, yes, what is it? The Missouri Community College?
Yeah.
Right, Missouri.
Mobley
area, that's it. Community college is here. We have one in Columbia. And I study community colleges, I work with community colleges, and I do transfer work now. And so on paper, yes, it's cheaper. You can get your core classes out the way, particularly in states where there are agreements, because my credits are supposed to just seamlessly transfer.
Articulation agreements are one of the biggest scams.
Such a scam.
But you don't know it until you have
until you're in it, right?
Yeah,
so
you
like,
don't know it until you have to
and so people are like, "Oh, dual enrollment credits," and I'm like, "Yo, by the way, about those credits, like, here's how you should navigate them." And it's funny when people, I guess, just forget that that I do this, because they be like, "Oh no, I'm like, no, that's actually not how they work.
Yeah,
and like, you should check, because what it says on paper
is not what it'll actually be.
And if you're leaving this state to go somewhere else,
there's no guarantee that they will take any of those credits.
None.
They'd be like, hey, show me a syllabus for that. And you'd be like, huh?
Or they'll be like, I mean, yeah, you can have 20 elective credits. That's not helpful.
But nothing that's actually advancing shortening your time to graduation or getting you closer to finishing your major.
And in fact, now it just means that you have to take all your hard classes at the same time. Yeah. So I just think that it is, I get, like you said, this is a 14-minute TED Talk. We are doing sound bites and clips to share big ideas, but it ignores so much nuance within the system. And again, particularly in like socioeconomic, racialized ways.
I think it's necessarily obtuse in that way. So if you even think about a checklist parent, you're already saying something about their socioeconomic status.
I didn't like that.
But like that, you cannot be. A lot of parents don't have the ability.
So even who are you talking to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when you look at the audience, like when the camera pans to the audience, as it usually does, it's majority, I would assume, middle, upper class whites.
Yes.
The audience that she's talking to is in the room. But as with most larger social issues, what gets erased is the majority. The majority of people
aren't those people.
Are not those people.
No.
The majority of people don't have time to worry about. They're just trying to finish their shift. Yeah.
Make sure, hey, go to school today. Do the things you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I have to go to work.
Here's the key.
Do your homework. Like, yeah. Like these are not. And in so many ways, too, even the ability to participate in the checklist. So we were just talking about, was it soccer? Mm-hmm. Wait, so you soccer. And it's like, yo, we had to pay... First, was it an acceptance fee? First, there was an acceptance fee. And they're like, okay, make sure you register. And I was like, wait, I just paid you.
Yeah.
No, that was the acceptance fee. Now you have to pay the registration fee and tuition, which is a separate fee.
It's been a huge conversation because the United States just got unceremoniously dumped out of the World Cup again by Belgium.
Did anybody think we were actually going to win? No, nobody thought that.
We thought we were better. We didn't think we were going to get embarrassed out. We got embarrassed out. It was nasty.
We're not.
We lost 4-1. It was nasty.
That good.
We look like bitch ass niggas.
Don't we know we're not that good?
We know we're not that good, but like part of the beauty of the World Cup is that so many other countries who don't even have the population of one of our states are able to like advance or like put on a good show. We did not. So for me, one of the upshoots of the conversation has been interesting. And like, I have a lot of skeptical other soccer fan friends who are like, this is not fixable in the United States. Like the only way we can do it, like we just got to pay people. We got to get Trump visas for good players from other places and tell them they get to play for the United States.
Unless they're from Somalia.
Yeah. But for me, it was more of a commentary on like some of the commentary that came from it was that we don't recruit our best athletes. We don't recruit from the most dense population areas. Like people who play soccer are suburban and the product is not the kid. The product is the parent. Like the person who they're trying to get to pay is the parent who wants their kid to participate.
And I want my kid to win because we saw this happening in real time.
But like that's a real thing. And so the reason that US soccer will not succeed unless it changes the model is that like the model needs to be about developing the kids, not extracting money from the parents.
Yeah, no, that's. Do you know where you live?
And I think that that's interesting because it connects directly to the argument. So like part of the reason that she's missing huge segments of the population, but also think about how many people are actually watching TED Talks.
Right. That too.
Yeah.
Like who are you talking to? Yourself.
Yeah, you're talking to, I mean, there's the kind of intellectual masturbation that always happens in like more privileged
circles, yes.
Intellectual circles. But she's talking to a very particular set of parents who are like those soccer parents who are willing to pay for their kids to check the boxes.
Yes, I am.
You need to know an instrument. You need to have traveled internationally.
Yes.
You need to have been in some kind of leadership organization. You
have to do community service. You need to play a sport.
Yeah, and
you have to have a creative.
It's the checklist is like bang, 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 bang. But that's already narrowing significantly the people they're talking to. And so I can also see how you also ignored that even within that much narrower band, which is probably like what, like 10, 20% of the whole population of the United States, that you're leaving out the 1 or 2% that look like us.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And it's, again, I think big picture, there are things that were useful and made sense. But I think that for a message like that to work, you have to think of the fact that parents are limited. This aligns right with our conversation from before about what does it mean to be a good parent. And a good parent, I think we've often equated good parenting with checklist parenting. I provide my kids with access and opportunity to things. No, I'm saying that's what people say.
Okay. I was about to say, is that what you say?
No, first of all.
That's not my bridge. Like, listen, if we broke, nigga. You just not doing, your childhood's just going to look like mine. Go ride your bike.
But even then, it's like, is that true though?
I mean, you're not going to. So like, I was raised by a single mother. I know and I understand it even better the older I get and the more exposure I have to like what it's like to have a child and to even the little tiny periods of time where I'm parenting completely solo and I have all three of them, which is admittedly very, very infrequent. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yo, if I was a parent and I had 3 kids and I still had to do my job full time, there's just a lot of things that are off the table. It's off the table. You can't have a game here, and unless I've developed a very strong social network where you're getting a ride from Bobby's mom and you're getting a ride from Chloe's people, and it's just not happening. And so when I think about my mom's situation, especially when I was like middle school, high school, my mom, in order to keep us in the same school district, was commuting from South Jersey to Dover, Delaware as a nurse who was working 12-hour shifts. Of course you ain't got nothing left in the tank when you get back to the crib. You're not coming to no basketball games. You're going to bed.
No, you're going to go sleep.
So yeah, like
crash and die when you go to work the next day.
Exactly. And so I can understand it. It doesn't mean that I'm not like, man, it would have been nice. And even when when you think about you think about the values that you develop, I can reflect directly on that and be like, yo, one of the things that I know that I'm good at is showing up for people. I know that part of that comes from my childhood and wishing that people were showing up for me.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So I appreciate you using your mom as an example because we know there's a cost to any of these things. What I'm interested in, and you mentioning, the fact like, yo, I'm tired, I'm going to bed. I can't, I have nothing left. And so when she talks about there's a part in the TED Talk where she, she's like, oh, I remember this annoyed me too. So she's like, yeah, and your kids come home from school and you close your laptop and you put it down and you give them your undivided attention. And I was like, oh, I know what I also wondered. I was like, I wonder if she's married.
Huh. That's very interesting.
Because when I get home after school pickup, it's in the first of all, privileged to be able to do after school pickup. I recognize that. I'm like, yo, I'm out. I got to go get my kids. But then I have to come back and go to work because I interrupted my work day to go do pickup. So I can't, like in the car, we'll have that conversation. But when I get back home, I have to go back to work.
Yeah, but I think you're doing like too strict of an interpretation of that. So I just finished Scott Galloway's Notes on Being a Man. And there's a passage in there that's kind of like that. He talks about I feel like he actually calls it garbage time, even though I felt like I didn't like the way that sounded. But it's the fact that like your presence creates all these bridges and opportunities for you to interact with your kids.
Oh, okay.
So like that they're in the car with you because you pick them up or drop them off for school. Or
Did
like
you mention this when we were talking
kitchen.
about Emma Creed and when she was talking about like the big moments? And you
Yeah.
mentioned, was that?
No, well, I mean, the ideas are connected, but it
Okay.
wasn't. This is different because I literally just finished that book. Like,
Oh, okay.
In the last couple of days.
Okay.
And so the idea is relatively fresh in my mind, but like the idea that so much of presence and like the value of presence as a parent, like obviously he's particularly talking about the role of a father because his notes on being a man,
Mm-hmm.
but like is you being there for the meantime in between time, like you making sure that there's a reasonable division of chores in your house so that it's not always you. Like, it's not always the woman that's like telling them to wash the dishes or clean bathroom, or like that you're splitting childcare pickup, or like just because the compounding interest of being close to your children and them knowing that you'll do things for them ends up paying off in the long run. Because like, hey, I want to be around you because I've always been around you. Or like, I want to continue to interact with you because I've always positively interacted with you. And like you being there for the small things is just as important as you being there for the big things. And like, that's how I come to know you. That's how I know who you are. That's how I know how you react to different situations. And I think that makes sense to me.
Okay.
And so the specific idea about like stopping what you're doing to greet somebody when they enter the room, I think I value that. And I think it's important. Like, it's something that's important to me. Like, I hate to enter spaces where I don't feel like I'm being acknowledged.
Yeah, you greet everybody when you come in. That's what you do.
But I also I'm less sensitive to it because like you're sensitive to this idea of like drop everything you're doing or like don't work because you need to greet me. But I don't really think that's the point because you're already greeting them. Like you being there for them to get in the car after school is you already greeting them and giving them undivided attention.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. I get, yeah. I think too, it's in the same way of like the checklisting, the assumptions about people's time and who has time to.
But you don't have time because you're privileged. You choose not to create boundaries at work because it's really important for you to do well at work and you're willing to put in time above and beyond what is asked of you in order to feel like you did that. So some of your time restrictions or like your perception of time restriction is self-imposed.
Yes. And I'm working on that. But also, especially in the last, year and a half, there's external forces that have contributed to my feeling like I need to produce above and beyond.
Racism in the White House?
I just, it's bad for everybody.
It's
Because
tough in these streets.
now everybody's got layoffs and nobody has a job. And I cannot afford to not have a job.
Can't afford to not be employed.
No, cannot. So I recognize that there is some pressure that I feel to prove and demonstrate my value add.
So it sounds like a repeating of patterns.
Tell me more. Oh, fuck.
There it is.
This is why you have to love your kids unconditionally.
What can I say except you're welcome?
That was annoying.
Because it's true? Yeah.
So you had also mentioned, in this checklist parenting, this overparenting, helicoptering and torpedoing and hovering and whatever else, that you feel like there's some things that make it worse? Is it worse?
Oh, yeah. I
Okay.
feel like technology makes it worse.
So
So I feel overwhelmed by the insight that technology gives us into our children's performance in real time. And I feel like it makes me want to be a checklist parent in a way that's really just about the environment that I've been planted in and less about my actual interest.
Oh, tell me more.
So if there's an app on my phone that dings and tells me that you have a 0 on your
You
assignment,
should turn the notifications off.
and then you come and ask me for something, and we've had the conversation that I love you unconditionally,
Yes.
but your job is school,
Yes.
and a 0 suggests that you're not doing your job.
You are not doing your job.
How am I supposed to interact with this person other than with extreme prejudice? And I realized when we were little, that is so loud.
Sorry, is
Oh
it?
my God, yes, put that down right now.
I was just trying. It was too short, and I kept having to lean over.
Yeah. I realized, even though I was a high achiever in terms of school and grades and such,
Yeah.
your parents just had no idea till your report card came home.
Right. Right. And
There was no like, yo, I know that in the last 6 weeks you've had 14 assignments.
You've completed 7 of them.
You've completed 7? That's aggressive. Well, I guess it depends which kid we're talking about.
Actually, and I feel like, what is it? You have to give people their flowers. He pulled through in the end.
He always pulls through in the end, but there's also some paddling done by us.
I feel like it was. I mean, yes,
We still gotta show up.
yes, but less.
I'm gonna take that long hiss like a snake from a Disney movie as your recognition that we're gonna move past this point.
I think it was less.
Yeah, but
I get what you're saying.
yeah, like I don't want to be exposed to that. It's like social media for parenting. Like there's all these dings and buzzes and notifications,
Oh.
and like you're constantly, because your children's performance feels like a proxy for your performance as a parent.
It is.
It's depressing you. And so it's like the same way niggas be wanting to commit suicide because they see all these pretty people on Instagram.
What?
I really feel like it's the same thing. Like you're not supposed, so like think of Instagram and scrolling and Facebook and all that. And you know, like so much of the most dangerous.
Yo, I had a relapse yesterday. It was really ugly.
Yeah. But so much of the most dangerous research that comes out of that is about like people's sense of self. So like they see these like completely made up, staged, done up things.
Yes.
And they have a really bad opinion about themselves.
Yeah.
And it leads to like suicide and bad self-image, and like people don't want to talk to each other, and like they don't want to be on camera unless they have makeup on, blah, 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 right? I feel like that, but about grades, because it's social media for your parenting. It's like, oh, there's another
Why
0?
doesn't your kid have this in?
Yeah. And
What are you doing, parent?
Am I?
Why is this happening?
I'm a college professor that asks people to turn things in on time.
Yo, it is.
And my own kid is out here disrespecting the teacher. Cause I'm like, that's the other thing. It's very difficult for me not to perspective take and like put myself in the position of
Yes.
teacher, because I'm like, yo, there are students who you love who have no intention of turning anything in on time for the entirety of the time that you know them.
And at least he's that kid, right? So he is liked by his teachers. Everyone likes him.
But being well liked is very important.
It is.
I think it's a part of unconditional love.
Just like having friends.
Yeah,
So
like
and
you
he has
need
those
friends and
things.
You need to be loved.
His teachers like him and he has friends.
Yeah. But as your parent, each knowledge of your wildness is affecting my,
Okay.
and I don't feel efficacious.
So
I don't feel like, so like, right? Self-efficacy. You develop confidence in your ability to do things from doing things well. I don't feel efficacious about parenting a person who turns in all their work.
So couldn't we also think about it as
On time.
a tool for parents to be more formative?
To monitor.
It's so formative assessment versus summative assessment. Summative assessment, the sum, generally comes at the end, right? So that's when we get
The grade.
the report card at the end of the semester. Students complete a course evaluation. I'm going to tell you all of the things about the last 16 weeks in the last day. And then I can take that and say, okay, for the next round, here's what I'll adjust or do differently or revise. Formative assessment is, hey, we're going to have biweekly check-ins. And if there are things that aren't working well, tell me now so that we can adjust to create a better outcome now. I think of it,
Where's the line between formative assessment and surveillance?
I think it is how you use the information and how you engage with it. So
How would I use it not to beat my children?
first of all, turn off the notifications. So that would be the
Like,
first part.
I like,
Turn the notifications off.
or to feel like they've compromised.
So This year, we've tried a couple of different approaches. So like I deleted it from my phone. I do not have the app anymore.
That's important.
I do check online, but only after
How often?
telling Maximilian.
That I seen them donuts.
No, I will ask him to check and then say, hey, are they missing assignments? Like I have him do the thing, and then my check is a backup to him having to go do the thing. Because sometimes he'll be like, I'm good. And I'll be like, that absolutely says you have 3 missing assignments. Tell me what you did.
But he's
Walk me
also
through your
a
process so we can correct.
He's also a compulsive ADHD liar.
He doesn't think and automatically responds. So
what color are your shoes? Huh?
that wasn't a trick question. The number of times I say that to him, I love my son so much, my baby angel. But I do think, right, like the checking is not it's not the sole thing by itself. It's checking combined with now, hey, I'm going to use this to help you do this on your own, right? So like she was saying, these kids need to get to college and be able to function and solve problems and like do stuff by themselves. When Maximilian gets to college, he needs to be on Blackboard or Canvas or whatever they're using to check his assignments and his grades. I am not going to I can't do that. We don't have access to him once he's...
I refuse. Even if I did have access, I could probably figure something out. But
no, we're not doing that. But yes, so I think in some ways, for some kids, having that now could be helpful for parents. I think with the Macaria, no, whatever. I'll just bring me a report card when
I think it depends on the nature of your child.
Although for her, I think us not going to parent-teacher conferences last year.
No, we went. We went. She said it was important, so we went.
Or maybe it was just the first one, but not in the spring.
I went to both. Me and Donna went.
She was like, we didn't go. I feel like
I didn't see it on the calendar. Yeah, no, we went.
I remember in the fall.
Yeah, we signed up.
I don't remember the spring.
But this is a long aside.
Sorry. Anyway, point being, we don't need it because she's doing things.
Yeah.
In fact, she's coming to us like, hey, read my stuff. Right?
Yeah. But I realized the impact that was having on her pretty quickly because we're lucky enough that she can articulate it. And she was very clear, like, hey.
I mean, that's not lucky. That's talking to her about.
I mean, well, obviously we've helped build the skills and like created the space for her to feel like she can come and share a grievance without being shouted down or chased off as an ungrateful child. However, her ability to communicate that like makes it a lot easier. Because it's like, oh, hey, I want you to show up. Even if you know exactly what they're going to say, it's still important to me that they get to say it to you. Mm-hmm. And she's like, on Sentenced to Be a Hero, she's like a little goddess. Like, praise me.
She totally is.
Yeah.
Tell me how amazing I am.
Yeah, pat me on the head.
Like, she performed. So, like, yes.
Yeah, I was like, all right, hey. And I can
We'll
recognize.
put the link in the show notes for
like I
can
can recognize the importance of like offering that praise and care, but disentangling it from just academic achievement.
I just, and this is probably a part of my bias because we're in it. Just knowing how the education system works, I feel like parents having technology is good. I think they don't need it.
Yeah.
That for sure could go because that's contributing to the lack of free time, creativity, critical thinking.
Yeah.
So like, yes.
You got to give them space to do that stuff too, though.
I was telling my mom, I was like, it's okay for them to be bored. And she's like, no, it's not. I was like, no.
Yes, it is.
So remember I do this? I do this?
For a living. It's funny because, again, educational expertise gets poo-pooed way too much.
Yo, people think just whatever.
Because if you were like, hey, you're a pharmacist.
Yes.
If I try to prescribe the children a drug that you know is going to kill them, you're going to stop me. Or you know is going to harm them in some way.
And I would listen to you.
Yeah. And so when I tell you as an educational scholar that they're allowed to be bored.
It's good for them.
And they need not be on a screen or be overscheduled or have something to do every waking moment.
Yeah.
Please listen to me. This is like a drug that you're giving my child.
Yes. Yes. Or like, you ask the doctors in the group chat about whatever and you take their advice. When I offer you the advice of the thing, you're like, well, but this is different.
It's like you don't know as much as I do, and you're disrespecting my qualifications.
I am literally a fucking expert. Oops, excuse my language.
I'm a doctor of this.
They gave me a degree for it, and then I've spent my entire life in it from multiple perspectives.
Yeah.
at multiple levels.
Yeah, true. But we'll wrap up with that flex.
Was it? No, that's not.
No, listen,
that's,
you go ahead.
okay.
Yeah, put them
Give me-
muscles up. You know what I mean?
Give me a
This brain been in the gym.
so. No, we can't end on that. So, give me one of your takeaways, either from this conversation or from the TED Talk.
I think the TED Talk and this conversation overlap for me. I think it's really important to recognize that there can be value in a conversation, even if it doesn't necessarily fit your experience. I think there are some ways that any argument that you try to make universal is ignoring huge swaths of the population.
Yeah.
And so even the people who have the wherewithal to be checklist parents is such a subset of a subset of a subset of parents.
Yeah.
That it's reasonable for your hackles to be raised, but it's also recognition that like, okay, there's some value in here, but even my exposure to this argument is related to my privilege. Like I have working internet. I have people who send me links to TED Talks. I use TED Talks in my teaching. I'm very aware of the latest scholarship as it relates to like what works well in teaching and learning and navigating the intersection of high school and community college and four-year institution and grad school. Like these are all things that I'm exposed to. So still finding the value and still finding the sense of connection, but also like demanding to trouble it. Like we still have to trouble it. We still have to be like, yo, like that's not something that everybody gets to worry about.
I would, to give Julie her props. I think unconditional love. I think it's something parents think, but don't reflect on maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, I say all the time, right? I'm going to bury a body for you, but I need you to act right? Like I love my kids. I tell my kids that. I'm pretty sure they know that, but saying it isn't the same as acting on it. And so to act in a way that demonstrates unconditional love. And what I appreciate from what she's saying is like, yo, I want you to do well in school. I'm never not going to be, that's never going to go away. But I also will always love you. And my love for you is not dependent on how you do in school. I just want you to do well, right? Like those things are, and we're not trading.
Yeah, and the way that I love you manifests itself very differently based on my assessment and like knowledge of the world, but also my assessment of your unique needs.
Yeah, and sometimes love is kicking your ass.
Yeah, and like sometimes love is smack upside the head. Sometimes love is a nagging reminder. Sometimes love is shutting off the notifications for your school app so that I can ask you how your day was when you got home. Non-ironically. How's the work going, buddy?
Yeah, because I don't know.
Yeah. But I also think about that, right? So, and I think we can close here, but I'll just offer you something that was coming through my mind when we were talking about it. I was like, man, I'm very pleased that there's not a version of that tracking me. So if I had to think about like the 15 open loops that I have right now and the things that because sometimes
it would not be good.
There'll be something that you're like putting off that as soon as you do it, it's like, yo, that took 7 minutes, B.
Yeah.
I can't believe that I put that off for 2 weeks.
It like kept me up at night.
And I was like, yo, if somebody, like if some overlord had like whatever the parent figure would be, unfortunately at work, it feels like your boss. But like if they had the ability to see my grades all the time before the finished product, like before the A comes out at the end of the semester, if you had to see the number of zeros I'm carrying until I get the stuff done, I don't think I would like that very much either.
I don't like it.
Yeah, and so now I'm going to offer even more care and unconditional love, and I'm probably going to delete the damn app because it's a standard that I don't want to hold myself to. And so to hold my children to it is ridiculous.
So we would encourage y'all to watch the talk. It's linked in the show notes. And think about whose childhood we're talking about. Whether you subscribe to this, subscribe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whether you subscribe to that or not.
Leave a comment. We'd love to know. Yeah.
And like, what are you struggling with? Right? Like as a parent, right? Like, because the drop down list is so robust. And even not even as a parent, as a person who loves people or who like provides love and mentorship for other children. Because some of the best mentors for my kids are people who are single.
Yeah.
I was like, like, what do you like when you think about other people's kids? What are you struggling with? We would love to know. But we'll come back to that. We need to do like a mailbag episode. But thank you for rocking with us on another episode of the Parents and Professors podcast.
Peace.
If this conversation resonated with you, do us a huge, huge, huge favor. Like the episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on all our socials. I actually be going crazy on Instagram, so that's the best one.
And please feel free to drop a comment below. Tell us what you liked, what you hated, where you'd like us to dig deeper, or even if you think we missed something. We're always learning and growing, and we want to make sure that we're creating content that resonates with viewers like you.
And most importantly, and this is a huge one, if you know somebody who could benefit from hearing the conversations that we're having on this episode, please share. Sharing is caring. We're doing this for the love and to build a community because it matters.
And at the end of the day, that's the most important part, creating spaces where we can have real, honest conversations about the things that matter to you, education, parenting, relationships, and everything in between.
So thanks for being part of our community. Go check out the catalog of other episodes if you haven't. And we look forward to seeing you next time on the Parents and Professors podcast.